season. The first player is obviously the top recruit coming in Ben Simmons from Australia, signed with the LSU Tigers. There's probably never been a player that's been as hyped as Ben Simmons. He's been on the radar since he was a sophomore in high school, came over from Australia, won 3 national high school titles. A lot of people have compared him to LeBron James. It's probably a bit unfair. He's probably not the athlete that LeBron James was, but he certainly has the passing ability that LeBron James has, and probably compares more favourably to Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom was at college, and even a bit of Chris Webber there. I mean, it's no wonder that he's a great passer. I mean, he played his high school basketball in America with D'Angelo Russell, who was the top point guard taken in last year's draft, and came through the grades in Australia with Dante Exum. So that's probably why he's such a great passer. The next player to watch out for this year in college basketball is Skal Labissiere. He follows in the long line of great Kentucky big men, great shot blocker, great scorer. The biggest question mark over Labissiere is the fact that he's going to come to a young side and be expected to be a leader, which has been a struggle. He's not naturally a vocal leader, so I look to see him improve that as the season progresses. The third and final guy to watch out for this year is Jaylen Brown. He'll be at the Cal Bears. He's a member of Cal's greatest recruiting class alongside Ivan Rabb. He's the best athlete coming in this year. He's a man-child. Compares very closely to Stanley Johnson of last year, but he is the better athlete of the two, and will stand out on the defensive end. The biggest question mark about Jaylen Brown this year is how much game time he will get with the likes of Tyron Rollis and Jabari Bird playing alongside him at Cal, 2 upperclassmen. So it'll be interesting to see whether Keonzo Martin brings him off the bench this year or he's a starter. That's the only question mark over Brown. Certainly would be great to watch this year with the Cal Bears. I've also got a Final Four prediction. The Gonzaga Bulldogs have always been a favourite of mine. The reason I feel they can go one further, at least make the Final Four this year, is because of their front court, led by Kai Wiltshire. Not a traditional big man. He's part of the modern day stretch four. Great shooter from the perimeter. He's complemented by the big man in the middle. Gornowski came back for his senior season, and obviously the star out of them all is Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis, son of Arvydas Sabonis. Unlike a lot of sons of former greats, you can see that Sabonis has a real passion for the game, great fundamentals in the low post, and should really improve this year. A strong candidate to be National Player of the Year. I guess the biggest question mark over the Gonzaga Bulldogs this year is their backcourt, whether they can replace Kevin Pangos, their 4-year leader out of Canada, graduated last year. So they'll be looking for Josh Perkins, who was their top recruit last year. Unfortunately, he was injured and missed all of last year. Similarly to Eric McClellan, they'll look for his scoring, the transfer from Vanderbilt. The other team, another team I should say, are the Virginia Cavaliers from the ACC. They're the best defensive team in college basketball. They were the best team for the majority of the regular season last year. Suffered a brutal blow when Justin Anderson, the best player, got injured. He's now gone, but I think he'll be able to be replaced by Mario Shayok, who did a great job deputizing for Anderson when he got injured, and maybe an improvement. I guess the biggest question mark for the Cavaliers going forward is whether they can generate enough offense. There was criticism last year, but certainly with their defense, they're going to be right up there and a real contender for this year's championship. And hopefully more game time for the New Zealander, Jack Salt. be great for New Zealand if we could have Jack Salt in the college game winning an NCAA tournament, and Steven Adams in the NBA winning an NBA title with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The raging hot favourites this year, though, are the North Carolina, the Tar Heels, one of the most storied programs, the school that Michael Jordan went to. Roy Williams, looking for his third NCAA tournament with the school, brings back every player apart from JP Tokido, who was a second-round draft pick with the 76ers. Bryce Johnson, their best inside man's back. Great depth that they have. Marcus Page, their point guard's back. And a guy to really watch out for them is Theo Pinson. He was injured in the second half of the season. He was the top recruit last year. And if he can come back to the form that he showed in high school alongside Justin Jackson, they could have 3 or 4 players that are fighting out for National Player of the Year honours. So they're the favourites heading into the season, the Tar Heels. Unfortunately, they've been dogged this off-season by scandal at the university about college courses that some of their players have taken, passing. And so whether that's going to affect them come basketball time is a big question hanging over what is essentially the best squad in college basketball this year. In my last Final Four team is the University of Kentucky. Again, a great recruiting class by Coach Cal, led by Labissiere, as I've already mentioned, and also Canadian Jamal Murray. Murray will join Tyler Ulis in the backcourt. I think Murray's a lot better player than the Harrison brothers. He's a great scorer and a great athlete on the perimeter. I look for Kentucky to do a better job this year come the end of the season. I think they tended to run out of offense, and that's the big question again, offense and obviously leadership. Labissiere isn't quite the leader that Anthony Towns was, so that's going to be the growth for him and also the team if they're to make another Final Four this year. On the New Zealand front, obviously great news for next year with the likes of Matt Freeman going to the University of Oklahoma, Sam Timmins, University of Washington, and Ty Wynyard, University of Kentucky. But that's next year. Obviously this year we're going to have to watch arguably Australia's greatest recruiting class. Obviously, I've already mentioned Ben Simmons, but to go along with Ben Simmons, there's Deng Adel, who'll be playing for the University of Louisville. Player comparison, you could compare him to a better jump shooter than a Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who compares very favourably to. The other guy is obviously Isaac Humphries at the University of Kentucky. Probably won't get much game time next year, but will be paired next year with Ty Wynyard, and they should form a very good combination. Obviously, we do have Ty Webster, who'll be looking to rebound from a very disappointing season last year at the University of Nebraska. What you hope is that Coach Miles moves him to his more preferred position, which is the off-guard shooting guard position. Struggled with point guard duties, similar to his brother really, in that they're very good at scoring the basketball. So hopefully he moves there and has a better season. And hopefully Jack Salt gets some more game time. Redshirted last year. Will be looked upon to be a screener, rebound, and really be an enforcer, similar to Steven Adams does in the Oklahoma City Thunder for the University of Virginia. So those are some of my predictions for the upcoming college season and what to look forward to as well.